everybody, my name is Cboy1. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit. We're having a bit of a story time type video. I know I don't do these very often, but here we are. So now would be a good time to let you know that if you want to see some more mediocre, not very consistent content, be sure to subscribe down below and hit that like button. It means a lot to us. Yeah, let's get started here. So basically, I go to an all-boys Catholic school. We are one of the few schools in the country that offers an overnight retreat for freshmen. Now, I love my school. My school is absolutely fantastic. If you don't know, I'm a senior, and I decided I was going to be a nice, responsible senior, sign up to chaperone. That was mistake number one. So basically, to put it nice, short, and sweet, I learned why all the seniors, whenever I was a freshman, hated the freshmen. Simple as that. So the drive up there was gorgeous, and the grounds were absolutely beautiful. I had a feeling it was going to be a great retreat because I hopped out of my car and I was getting all my things out the car. I look up and there's just a deer munching on leaves. I'll put a picture of it right here. So all the freshmen arrived. None of us had any clue what to do. Even the teachers were really confused as to what to do. It wasn't the best situation, but once we finally got everything figured out, one of the activities that we had were small groups. So of course, being the senior leader, I was in charge of my own small group. I had another senior with me, but I was kind of the strictest one in the group, so I was the one taking charge. I had 9 freshmen in my group. We were just sitting around in a circle, and I was thinking, what's a good way to get their attention? Because every single time I'd start talking, they'd start talking too. So I decided, let's go respect. And so I was like, alright, respect it is. So let's do a hand motion so we can get people's attention better whenever they're not paying attention. So you know what, I'm just like, okay, something really simple. Whenever I say respect, we all put our hands up like this. That was mistake number 2. Within like 2 seconds, they were all hailing Hitler up in here. It was terrible. Got to the point where a couple of the freshmen were actually getting stuck in their chairs because they kept like sliding through the middle, like the gap between like the back and the... It was bad. It was really bad. It was like trying to wrangle a bunch of bulls. So one of the reasons that I signed up for this thing was because the food at this retreat center is... It's like mama's cooking. It was great. I went up there, and of course the food was just as good as I remembered it my freshman year. And of course the freshmen enjoyed it as well. We kind of had a couple issues. We had like a group of small groups, and in order to go first in line, all of us had to be quiet. And it was only my group being quiet because I'm like, y'all, if you want to eat, we gotta shut up. Apparently no other senior got the memo. We ended up going like last every single time. It sucked. So one of the big events that led up to everything was the freshman like Olympic Games type thing. So a little bit of background real quick. So in my school we have this house system, and the only thing I could really compare it to that's like somewhat relevant is Harry Potter. We have like a very similar thing. We compete for a cup every year. It's really great. My house doesn't really have the best track record. Yeah, we were choosing which seniors were supervising which events. There was capture the flag dodgeball, volleyball, ultimate frisbee, trivia, and tower building. Now, since I did tower building my freshman year, I decided to go with that one. I kind of reflected back on what happened my freshman year. The guys that I was, grouped with and we just couldn't get along. We couldn't get a good plan together, so we ended up just all building our own thing. And then with like 2 minutes remaining, we just smushed them all together and called it a day. We let go of it and it fell. So yeah, we kind of got last place there. And this year, the boys actually got together. I had 3 freshmen. They were all really smart guys, so I'm thinking, yeah, we got this in the bag, no problem. Then they start building up, it's great. Things start leaning as it starts getting taller, but it's looking okay. But then we get to the end mark. They let go of it, and down it goes. I was having flashbacks for sure. But anyway, nighttime rolls around. So this, of course, is what sets our retreat apart from like all the other retreats in the country. We sleep. Basically what happens is, whenever we first got there, we went straight to our bunks to drop off all of our bags. Of course, it's kind of obvious. I went and jumped in a room with a bunch of freshmen. We were supposed to have 1 senior in every single room. I went into a room that didn't have a senior, and I just plopped my stuff down. So we left, and whenever we got back from our first event, all the freshmen and all their stuff were just gone, like nowhere in sight. At first I was kind of upset, but then I was like, I think I'm the only one that's gonna get any sleep tonight. So I was actually really excited about this. Lights out was at 11. I swear for a good like another half an hour, I just hear kids running up and down the hall with one of our seniors just screaming at him. Now the dude that was screaming is usually a pretty chill guy, but I think he wasn't having it. 11:30 rolls around, and in walks one of the senior leaders. He's like, hey, there's a kid in my room that doesn't feel good. Can you come in here? I was like, yeah, sure. This won't be that bad. He's not feeling good. good, he'll probably just go to sleep. Our house dean walks him in, and he's like, oh, this is, I'm not gonna use his actual name. This is Barry B. Benson, and he's gonna sleep with you tonight. I was like, okay, that's good, alright. I'm gonna just, gonna go back to sleep then. And he continues, here's the thing about Barry B. Benson, though. He likes the lights on. Why? Of course, out of all the kids, we had like 35 kids in our bunker like area, and I got the one kid that wanted the lights on. Like, he turned them off eventually, but by that time it was 1 o'clock, and like any chance of sleep was just out the window. And on top of that, I had already set my alarm for early that morning, so Mr. Barry B. Benson himself kept me up. Lights were supposed to be on at 8 o'clock. I woke up at 7 to get a shower, get everything ready. I even took my stuff out to the car so I could focus on getting the freshmen out of there because I knew they were going to be a pain in the butt. I got the absolute honor of banging on all of their doors and screaming at them, telling them to wake up. It was the most beautiful thing. It was so good to get back at them after they were just screaming all night. It was fantastic. I scared the living crap out of a lot of them. And we started going to breakfast. Now, there was this kid that I had talked to a little bit, and, he seemed like a pretty cool guy, but, I guess the rest of the kids, were nearly positive that he was gay. And I'll be straight up, I don't care if you're gay. Go for it. The freshmen didn't have that same attitude. There was one kid that grabbed a whole plate of sausage, like an entire plate of sausage. Now, this is where that private Catholic education really comes into play. You get all the rich, like, spoiled kids. It's terrible. But he got a bunch of, like, sausage links. Like, these weren't, like, patties. They were, like, links. He marches right up to this kid and is like, hey, dude, you want some sausage? Comes over and brags to all of my guys, like, I was losing brain cells, and I still am losing brain cells just thinking about the situation. It didn't get any better. Later on, we'd gotten this, like, Would You Rather book. Here's a nice JPEG of it. This Would You Rather book had a bunch of, like, Christian things. It was written by a youth pastor or something. So the questions there were, like, not really too deep. It was, like, kind of just stereotypical. Whenever one of my freshmen was like, hey, can we make our own questions? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get a good conversation going. Good wholesome conversation. What could possibly go wrong? There was nothing. Not a single thing that could possibly go wrong. Assuming that was mistake number 3. The smallest kid in our group, literally looked fresh out the womb. Like, I'm not even kidding you. This kid looks so young. He looks me dead in the eye, and he goes, would you rather get head or give head? Receive Christ. At this point, I was just pretty much done with the freshmen. Luckily, around this time, it was lunchtime, and literally right after lunch, they were just gonna load on the bus and get the heck out of there. Speaking of buses, there was this one bus that came to pick up, like, a portion of the kids. It was such a weird-looking bus. I'd never seen a bus like this before. It was really weird. I'll put a picture of it somewhere around here. I don't know. I had to take a picture of it. It was just such a weird bus. I'd never seen anything like it before. I ended up driving home, and I literally just passed out. I dropped my bags off, and I was out, like, gone. Like, there was no getting me up. I was completely, utterly out. Like, gone. Completely. So, it was a really rough experience, and as I said before, I can now see why all the seniors my freshman year hated freshmen. So, here are some words of advice with Clayton. First things first, freshmen, you are not cool. You're not as cool as you think you are. You're not impressing anyone. You're just getting on a lot of people's nerves. That leads me to my second point. Don't go out of your way trying to impress people. Now, impressing people, it really boosts your ego, and it feels great sometimes. Just don't go out of your way to do it, because most of the time if you do that, you're asking for the wrong kind of attention. It's just not, just not good. It's not good. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed making this. If you did enjoy, feel free to hit subscribe down below. As I said, like the video, turn on post notifications because, I mean, it won't spam your phone. We barely ever post. But anyway, as I said, if you did enjoy watching, hit subscribe, like the video, and I think that's it. Peace.